Hello guys, this is Puerto Rico and today we got another review with the Kel-tec PMR30, and yes, it can hold 30 rounds. The Kel-tec PMR30 looks like a full-size pistol, but it can hold 30 rounds, and that's the same amount of rounds that my AR-15 can hold. And it feels so light that it weighs almost as my concealed carry pistol. This is a little bit old pistol. It came out in 2010, but it's super interesting, and that is the reason why I want to review this gun. The Kel-tec is the same size as a full-size pistol, but it can hold 30 rounds. Yes, it can hold 30 rounds in this magazine. Even when you load this gun all the way without 30 rounds, it does not weigh or feel like one. This kind of full-size pistol is really thin and it barely weighs anything. The PMR30 weighs around 14 ounces unloaded, and a full-size pistol of the same category like the Glock 17 will weigh 22 ounces unloaded. That's a huge difference. The PMR30 is loaded in 22 Magnum, and this bullet is the same diameter as the 22 long rifle, but it's longer because it contains more powder. And for this same reason, the amount of powder makes this bullet go almost twice as fast as the 22 long rifle. Since the Kel-tec PMR30 came out, the retail price is $155 here in the US, and of course you can find it cheaper in different gun shops or different pawn shops. It depends on the area you're in. Here in Texas you can find the PMR30 around the price of $455. Since the PMR30 is chambered in 22 Magnum, the magazine for this gun are a little larger than other guns. It's a little bit longer from back to front, and of course it's a pretty big size because it holds 30 rounds, and this is something that you will expect if you have this high capacity magazine. It's a little difficult to load this magazine, especially at the last couple rounds. It gets really hard, but the trick to load this magazine so the gun never gets jammed is to put the round that you're gonna put in, the neck has to be in front of the previous rounds that is already in the magazine. The magazine release for this gun is right on the back bottom of the gun, and this is a really weird spot to put the magazine release, but since I have an average hand, I don't have any problem with it. But if you watch the review from Hiccup45, his hand is so big that he hit this release accidentally.
I might have released the magazine. It was not cocked, so you cannot engage it, so I was having to put more pressure on it, and in the process of doing that, I did release the magazine.
The Kel-tec PMR30 have an external safety that is really easy to access on the back of the gun. Unlike most of the guns, red means danger, means fire, and when you see nothing, it means that the safety is engaged. This is really convenient for people that are new into the shooting community and they want to take some extra safety precautions. Now let's talk a little bit about the trigger, and wow, this is what set this gun apart. The trigger pull for this gun is super light and feel amazing. It's like 3.5 pounds to 5 pounds depending on your gun, and it feels super good. But if you're a casual shooter, you need to be a little careful if you're not experienced, because when I first shoot this gun, I was ready to shoot, and as soon as I put my finger on the trigger, it just went off. I was not an experienced shooter, I was just shooting a couple times, and you can realize how light is the trigger pull on this gun after you've been on the range for a while and you're using your Glock, you're using your SIG, you're using your other guns, and then you come back to the Kel-tec PMR30, and as soon as you put that finger on the trigger, it's gonna go off. But it's super fun to shoot. It allows you to rapid fire, and in my experience, it makes me a little more accurate since I don't have to pull the trigger as much as other guns. You can feel the wall of the trigger real quick. You can see there's almost no space right there, and a crisp action of the trigger. Now the reset, super short, crispy. It has a decent reset, but the trigger action when you pull this trigger is what set this gun to be so special. The grip for this gun feels pretty good. It's a little bigger than other guns because of course you have your 22 Magnum in here and those rounds are quite big for a pistol, but if you have medium to big size hands, it will feel really comfortable to you. The grip feels plasticky, not as high quality as other pistols, but I have this rubbery grip. It makes it a little bit wider and bigger, and it feels super comfortable. I like the gun with the grip, without the grip. I think it feels really comfortable. The recoil is manageable and you're gonna have a lot of fun. The Kel-tec PMR30 also has some fiber optic sights. They are orange in the back and green in the front for this gun. You can change it and you can see the dots clearly. They are super easy to aim. They are really accurate and I think these sights are perfect for the gun. Also, you have a plate on top. You can unscrew it, get that plate out, put a Picatinny plate and add a sight to it, a little red dot. Now, if you mount a red dot on the Kel-tec PMR30, they recommend to be less than 2 ounces because if it's higher than that, it can cause malfunctions when cycling. And the reason for this is because the slide is so light and the round does not kick that much. So if you have a lot of weight on top of the gun, on top of this pistol, it won't cycle back. Now the slide is super small, it's like half the size of any other pistol, and the back part right here is made of plastic, and that is why the gun is so light and the recoil is nothing. The front part is the one that is metal and the barrel too, and I think those have to be metals for the gun to work. Also, your hand is really high into the bore axis, so it makes you manage the recoil better too. It has some plastic grooves so you can grab your slide and slide it back. So it's a really small slide, it's really easy to pull back to cock your gun, and that's very convenient as well. You also have some Picatinny rails, so get creative with that. And the slide release is all the way back there by the safety mechanism. It's really hard to pull down, so I just pull the slide down and release the slide. So what I think about this gun is rare. Like, you cannot find a pistol that can pass 20 rounds, and this one holds 30 rounds. That is like the same as most of the AR-15. I think the only full-size pistol that can compete with this one will be the FNN-57 because that one is similar round, it's slightly bigger, but the 57 can only hold 20 rounds and the PMR is ahead with 10 extra rounds. It's not as fair because the FNN-57 is a pistol that shoot rifle rounds, so they're gonna be bigger and they're different rounds than this one, but it's the only gun that can get close to what the PMR is. Also, the price for the FNN-57 is 3 times more than the Kel-tec PMR30. This retail for $455 and the 5.7 retail for about $1,400. The recoil for this gun is amazing. I think for the velocity that the bullet is flying out of this pistol, out of the barrel of the PMR30, I think the recoil is almost non-existent. You can feel the punch on this gun more than a 22 long rifle. The reason is because the 22 long rifle got like a half the velocity of the 22 Magnum. I feel the recoil has some punch to it, you can feel it, but it's totally manageable. Also, another issue I watched on the internet was Haycock again. He was shooting and the gun was not locking back, but I'm guessing this is for the same issue. Haycock got gorilla hands and it kept hitting everything on the gun. Also, this is a little odd, the magazine release is at the bottom. I think they could have done it where everybody else do it, so it's easy, accessible, but I don't see any trouble with that. Haycock might see one. Overall, I think this is an amazing gun. It's super fun to shoot. I love it. You can use it for home defense, for self-defense, whatever you want. It has a powerful round with almost no recoil. It's really thin to conceal and it's really comfortable in your hand. I love it a lot and I will recommend for you to pick one or try one out. I have a couple malfunctions on this gun, but I think it was the way that I was loading the rounds. I would highly encourage anybody that like this pistol to grab one and try it out. I hope you like this video. If you like it, please hit the like button below. Please subscribe and see you till next time.